max, girl want test you. Don't stand a chance, no. Girl, you look better than them, yes. You dress nicer than them, yes. Hold me tight, girl, hold me tight. What? Wipe me off, try me off.
I came to rock at this party, 'cause I can make you feel alright. Sweet boy, rock your body, rock it straight through the night. Oh, you want this body? Oh, you want it now?
Say what?
Sweet boy, rock your body, 'cause I'm making mine tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin. Vierte Session des Happy Bad European Darts Grand Prix 2016. Und wir starten mit einem Spieler aus Wales, der noch gar nicht so lange bei der PDC ist, der aber jetzt im August sein erstes Halbfinale auf der Pro Tour gespielt hat und seitdem zu den Top 64 der Welt zählt als aktuelle Nummer 64. Herzlich willkommen, Johnny Clayton! Johnny Clayton nimmt es auf mit dem jüngsten Weltmeister in der Geschichte. 2006 gewann er bei der BDO die WM im Alter von 21 Jahren und 90 Tagen. 2007 kam er zur PDC und seit er das WM-Halbfinale im Alexandra Palace erreicht hat, gehört er zu den besten 10 der Welt. Die aktuelle Nummer 10 aus den Niederlanden, The Cobra, Jelle Klaasen! Auch an diesem Samstagabend gilt die Distanz Best of 11 Legs. Man braucht 6 Legs, um in das Achtelfinale einzuziehen. Und der Caller dieser ersten Partie ist der Puppy George Noble.
Welcome back to the Glaspalast in Sindelfingen for the Happy Bet European Darts Grand Prix. The second round action continues here. We've got 8 huge games for you on the way tonight, and if they are anything like the ones we saw this afternoon, we are going to be in for some top dollar entertainment. 5-time world champion Raymond van Barneveld booked his place in the final day of action here in Sindelfingen, but only just an incredible 141 checkout to win the game in a deciding leg against Simon Whitlock has kept his hopes alive of making the European Championship in Hasselt in Belgium later on this year. We've got huge names on the way this evening though. Michael van Gerwen, the world number 1 among them. Peter Wright, the world number, or the second seed.
Throw first. Game on.
But we start with the Cobra, Jelle Klaasen, and the Ferret, Johnny Clayton. I'm Dan Dawson and Paul Nicholson's alongside me.
97.
So Dan, I've got to ask you, who would you bet on in a fight? A ferret or a cobra?
Well, you say that, but a ferret, I don't believe, is that far away from a mongoose, and I think they make it their business to take out snakes.
So, mongooses or mongoose?
I don't know. I don't know the plural.
It's an old joke.
100.
It sets off an entire conversation in many a pub and club around the world.
And we are not getting into it right now, because I tell you what, Johnny Clayton has been playing some very good darts this year, but Jelle Klaasen, for my mind, is the unluckiest player on the European Tour of 2016.
26.
Last weekend especially, he played 3 games at a tournament average around about 107, and he still only won 2 of the games because Michael van Gerwen threw the 4th highest Euro Tour average in history against him, 115, to knock him out. He keeps losing to the eventual winners of tournaments or people who could well have gone on and won it.
Well, after a while,
93.
You seem to think that your luck's not in, but Jelle has played very, very well all season. After a semi-final in the World Championships at the back end of last season, or the start of this season, depending on how you look at it, he just has played very well this year, and I don't think he's had
96.
the real rewards that his form has brought out. But Johnny Clayton is going to have double 18 for a man who doesn't make many mistakes. And how many times have I said that in the last few European Tour events? He's just clinical when it comes to his doubling. I think that Johnny Clayton next year, after this really good way of finding his form in 2016, 2017 could be the year for Johnny Clayton, much like this year was for Gerwyn Price.
You know, I have to agree.
140.
Because he just seems to be getting better and better. First time a lot of darts fans might have seen him was at the Grand Slam, because he won through the qualifiers for that. He had
81.
a limited number of places available to qualifiers to make it through to the Grand Slam. And he actually beat Yella. It's the one time they've met. He beat him 5-2 in the decider for that. So he got to the Grand Slam. First time anybody ever seen him. Or not anybody ever seen him. We'd seen him on the tour. But first time perhaps darts fans who watch the big tournaments at home had seen him. And he went and beat Terry Jenkins. He didn't make it out of the group. But I think Gert de Vos threw a ridiculous 107 average at him. And Robert Thornton was the other guy to beat him. But he's just got better and better. He made a quarter-final back in May. He made his first semi-final just last month. And look at this. Oh, that is unlucky.
21.
Indeed, it was unlucky. You see, Yella's had a bit of a haircut since last week. And
100.
I don't know whether he's been to see Cameron
99.
Diaz or there's something about Mary, definitely. But that is a hell of a quiff.
You would have your eye out with that. Double 16. Ooh, misses
67.
outside Johnny
Yellow
Clayton.
106.
Yep. 60. Double 18. It just seems to me like Johnny Clayton might be the tiny bit more of the sharper two on the stage at the moment. And there's the proof.
In the second leg, Johnny Clayton.
Yellow Klaasen might have to put his foot on the pedal because Johnny Clayton's not hanging about. And I think you're right, Dan, about their one meeting. Johnny Clayton's got to remember that. If they've only met once, you'll think, oh yeah, I remember that game. I played really well. I'll have to beat him again. And that's the way that dart players think. They do draw on things that are positive, and sometimes they draw on things that are negative far too much.
Well, they've both got a lot of positives to take. As I say, Yella's been playing really, really good darts this year. I don't think he's perhaps got the rewards that maybe his form has merited. In terms of titles, at least, he's obviously earned a decent wedge of money. But Johnny Clayton,
140.
Yeah, he really has been just making steady progress. And not been setting the world alight, but he's been very, very dangerous customer. I remember seeing him in Hamburg, and he gave James Wade a real test. Wade, of course, who went on to win the title.
Yep. And in Klaasen's mind, I mean, I've known Yella since 2008. Oh, wow, good darts from Johnny Clayton. And for a long time, he only had one Pro Tour event to his name, which was the John McAvoy Gold Dart Classic in Killarney.
Johnny, you require 46.
He snapped that cycle. He's definitely got a few more than that now. But Johnny Clayton, in the flash of an eye, could be 3-0 up and is.
11 darter from Johnny Clayton, and the plasterer from Ponteberry has got a second break of throw there as well, and he is bullying the number 10 seed, Yella Klaasen, right now.
Why is it that people turn up against Klaasen more than anybody else this year?
100.
Has he upset people?
Wow. Quite possibly.
57.
Well, Johnny Clayton is averaging 109. Now, we saw earlier on today, Steve Beaton, after 4 legs, was averaging 110, 111, and he couldn't sustain it against Alan Tab. And he did run out a 6-3 winner, Steve Beaton, and he was one of 6 seeded players through in the afternoon session. The 2 seeds who went out, Simon Whitlock to Raymond van Barneveld, and Terry Jenkins to Joe Mernon, only beaten in deciding legs. But right now, we have the possibility here of a seeded player getting a bit of a spanking from one of the guys who's come through the qualifiers. It's just whether Johnny Clayton can sustain this level of performance, because 3 out of 4 he's done. He's not even let Yella have a dart at a double yet.
Well, that's just borderline ridiculous. But Johnny Clayton is the kind of person who doesn't tend to put himself under a lot of stress when he's throwing in the middle of a game. So you can see his demeanour now is exactly as it was at the beginning of the game. Whether he's 3-0 up or 3-0 down, he will continue to play the same. And that bodes well for how he's going to play over the next few legs. However, Steve Beaton was a great example. He's exactly the same as that, and he did falter a little bit when he was 5-0 up.
Yeah, it kind of went off the boil from 4-0 up, but he still got the job done against Alan Tabben. It's a big ask to be averaging 110 and then close out the match by maintaining that sort of level. Yella managed to do that last time out. 111 average against Vincent van der Voort when he's 6-1 in his opening game. Treble 19 now. Doesn't get it, so Yella should get his first dart at a double here. I'm going to think, Johnny, it'll be treble 10, yeah.
69.
Set it up. He can't do a great deal more than that apart from take it out.
2 10s. Got to go inside. Shifts a bit.
54.
Did make it hard, that first
Johnny
dart.
It did.
32.
Now, we know Clayton likes this double in the bottom left-hand corner. There we go again.
Flag, Johnny Clayton.
If you'd have said to me before this game started it was going to be 4-0 Clayton, I would have said, really?
Well, we know he's a good player, but I tell you what, as I've just detailed, Yellow is playing some phenomenal darts at the minute, and if either man was going to... I wouldn't have expected either man to be 4-0 up, to be honest. But Johnny Clayton is doing the business right now. The winner of this one will face James Wade. Now, Wade managed to come through against Frosty the Throwman, Mark Frost, earlier on. It wasn't that convincing from the number 7 seed, James Wade, winner in Hamburg earlier on this year on the Euro Tour. But he is through, and Jelle Klaasen may, in a few minutes' time, be looking very enviously at his fellow seeded player, James Wade, as he sits in the last 16.
Do we have to look at the
96
point of view where Johnny Clayton has not played the last couple of weeks on the European Tour? Jelle Klaasen is into his 3rd week in a row on the European Tour. Is there maybe a tiredness factor with the travelling and going backwards and forwards, whereas Johnny Clayton has had that time to rest, practice at his leisure? Maybe he's just feeling a little sharper.
Potentially.
This is one of the reasons why I thought this game was so intriguing, because you had a rested, confident player who was playing well in Johnny Clayton, and then you've got someone who was flying form-wise, but who's played a lot of darts.
Well, that is a 13-darter from Jelle Klaasen. He's got himself on the board.
Well, we know he can wrap a lot of legs off in a row. I mean, he did it last week.
Yeah, against Vincent van der Voort, that game took less than 10.5 minutes. I mean, I know Vincent's quick, but there's a 180 for Johnny Clayton, number 2 for the Welshman.
Just get the feeling that tonight the crowd are going to get sore shouldered by holding up those 180 signs. I mean, they weigh probably...
They're not heavy.
3 grams, if that. And you try doing that with your hands going up and down all night. Because we can guarantee that with the likes of Van der Pas, Huybrechts, Sulevic, Van Gerwen. And what darts is Peter Wright going to use tonight?
Who knows?
Well,
who knows?
We will tell you later.
Ian White, James Wilson looks a good game to me. I have to say, penultimate one of the night. James Wilson playing some very, very good stuff at the moment. And Ian White, number 3 seed for a reason. Well, Klaasen needed to fill that up to get down to a finish. So Clayton is going to get 2 visits minimum from 161 for a 5-1 lead. And would there be any way back from 5-1 down for Jelle Klaasen, irrespective of how well he has played of late? Because Johnny Clayton is averaging around about 100, and he's hit 80% of his darts at double. In his first round match against Gabriel Clemens, Irish Nation qualifier, he hit 75%. This is not just world-class finishing from Johnny Clayton, it is mind-boggling finishing from Johnny Clayton. That is 5 out of 6.
5 out of 6 this time, and last night he beat Gabriel Clemens 6-1.
100.
He's actually on course to do that again. Obviously, no disrespect to the German qualifier last night, but Jelle Klaasen is one of the best players on planet darts. And Johnny Clayton is probably playing one of the best games he's had on stage of his life.
If this is a sign that Johnny Clayton... I mean, we have seen signs already that Johnny Clayton is coming to terms with being a PDC pro. But, I mean, if he's getting used to the big stage as well, these are the sorts of events which can kick-start your charge up the rankings. And Johnny Clayton, ton 40 there, he's looking to get the job done in double quick time against Jelle here for what would be a 2nd win from 2 meetings with the former world champion.
Maybe he's one of the guys that really knows how to play against the Cobra. It's not an easy thing to do because he's fast, he's lethal, and he doesn't miss a lot.
Johnny Clayton is not missing much at all. He's down to a finish after 9 again, and this is superb stuff. Looking to join his fellow Welshman Gerwyn Price in the last 16.
Johnny, you require 161.
Well, the way they're both playing, it could be a Welsh final the way they're going. 146 left. That leaves 86. Treble 18. Leaves a double. So good. Sensational from Johnny Clayton. Got to be happy with this performance. And it looks all over.
Well,
121.
Jelle Klaasen has turned up with a new hairdo that looks like it's been cut with a laser, and it looks pretty sharp, but it is nowhere near as sharp as Johnny Clayton, who has hit 6 out of 7 on his doubles. He's hit 12 out of 15 for the whole weekend. Or 12 out of 15. That is ridiculous doubling from Johnny Clayton. And he has just taken apart Jelle Klaasen, one of the form horses in Euro Tour darts. Clayton is through to the last 16 in double quick time with a 102 average. My word, that is some result. We'll grab a quick couple of words with Johnny Clayton. And then it's Cristo Reyes, the Spaniard, taking on Benito van der Pas.
Session Nummer 4. Dennoch, Applaus für The Cobra, für Jelle Klaasen. Thanks for coming to Sindelfingen. Johnny, congratulations. Honestly, I'm surprised. That was very quick and very good.
It was, yeah. Yeah, quicker than I thought, yeah. I thought it'd been a bit longer than that, but it's good for me.
So it's one of those matches where it just happens and everything goes in and...
Oh, yes, definitely. It just happened, things went right, and to be fair, yeah, it was on the top of his game, but that's what pressure does, yeah?
Yeah, one of the best averages we had so far in that tournament, around 100. Very good. See you tomorrow again. First time, third day on European Tour.
Yes, it is, yeah, so look out.
Very good. Congratulations, Johnny Clayton.